Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, and still the biggest gob in sport. Today we're joined by Andy from Andy's Cavern, who is not, by the way, from fucking Aberdeen. How you doing, Andrew?
Not bad, pal, yourself. How are you?
I'm all right, lad. I'm all right. You're looking well, Andy. Have you had a shave?
Had a shave, especially for you.
Oh, Andy, what are you doing to me? What are you
I was
doing?
looking a bit, I was looking a bit scruffy earlier, so I better make an effort since I'm on screen.
Yeah, why? Well, listen, and why not, mate? Why not? Uh,
Take pride, take pride in yourself. Eh?
Yeah, there's a lot gone on in the sport of boxing since we last. When was the last time we had John? About 5 days ago.
Yeah, it was last, Monday or Tuesday, I think it was. That
Yeah, it's about a
was it?
week ago.
Yeah, about a week ago. Yeah,
There's a lot gone on, so I'm just going to motor straight in. No
yeah.
messing about. You know I'm a bull in the china shop, man, don't you? Right. There's two world champions in England at the moment. Nick Ball and Daniel Dubois, who got his belt by default. What's happening, Andy? Super Bean says boxing's booming. Is it?
Maybe not in this country.
Not in this country, no. How can we
Maybe
go from
booming.
13 world champions to two?
It's maybe booming in Saudi or something like that. But
That's
you
not.
never know.
There's more women world champions in UK than men.
It's we're on a dip at the moment. I think it's like a recession in world champions. It'll maybe pick up again.
What, mate?
It'll maybe pick up again. Who have we got that's likely to win it? Well, mind you, who they're going to beat? That's who have we got to beat? That's what you've got
All right,
kind of
Andy.
got to look at. Eh?
Does I know you beat Nick Ball? Yes or no?
I would say probably yes. Nick, but he's coming up in weight, isn't he? He's come up quite a lot of weight so far. I know you, hasn't he? And this will
Yeah.
be another step. So Nick, you've got to give Nick Ball probably a better chance against him than others previously. Um, I don't know. It'll be a good fight that, but I just don't know how that's going to pan out. You've probably got a favour, I know you, just because of his resume. Um, and Nick Ball strikes me as tough. I've seen him fight. Remember his nose was burst early on in the fight, and he managed to. It didn't really seem to deter him much, did it? So I think he's got a steeliness about him that will stand him in good stead if he does go in against an OU.
Well, I hope so. He's got a better chance than Paul Butler, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Because of the weight
he's
disparity. Although Paul Butler did very well on the night, didn't he?
yeah. I mean, he's got a good work rate, Nick Ball, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's fit, isn't he? And I think he's got. I would say he's got a decent chin, isn't he?
Yeah. Okay. We'll go straight in then. No messing about. Hughie Fury fought Dan Garber, 30-year-old against a 40-year-old, his sparring partner. He got him out there in the fifth round. His dad, Peter Fury, came out afterwards and he said, and I quote, Hughie had a broken hand going into the fight, so we fought one-handed. That's why it took to get to 5 rounds. What do you make of that? And why? And what do you make of the YouTubers who were asking Peter the questions that didn't say, why would you put in your fighter? Forget the fact he's your lad, but why would you put in your fighter who's got a broken hand?
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't have put a fighter in with a broken hand, but I'm only a fan. I'm not an expert, but it was just like a glorified sparring session, really, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
well, that's his sparring partner, isn't it? The geezer's there to
Yeah,
lose, isn't he?
yeah. It's just
So it was basically they knew it was just going to be a move around. So why did they need to bother? We'll stick Yui in there with one hand. So there's two scenarios here. Yui did have a broken hand, and they thought, well, we'll just get through, get a win on board, keep everybody happy. Or the second part to it is Yui couldn't pull trigger. and that's bad. So it's
Yeah.
bad putting him in with one hand, knowing that it's a move around, and the second one is, well, he can't pull trigger. So either one of them, they still look absolute whoppers, don't they? Little sausages.
Yeah, I seen Peter. It was like he was admitting they just did it to give Dan Garber a payday.
I saw on the interview. Why would you say that? Do you know when you've exhausted every excuse that you can come out with? That's what you've got. We have to tell it straight on here.
Yeah,
And I've been
this
mates with Peter Fury 10 years, but we have to tell it straight on here.
it's
My comment section's on fire constantly about this lot. So we're going to have to tell it straight. It's no good beating about the bush. I can't keep protecting your Peter Furies, Hughie's, and Frotchers. We've got to tell it
no,
straight.
it's disappointing now.
But disappointing, Andy. It's
Yeah,
absolute cockhead behaviour. Sausages.
yeah.
That's what this is. They should be embarrassed.
Maybe
Well,
that's why they're
well,
not
what
getting.
they're going to get out of beating Dan Garber is ranked 525. Huey's ranked 28. BoxRec are not even going to give you an upgrade on that ranking for that win. So
No,
why take the fight?
no. Even if he has got a broken hand, he'd be better sitting it out until his hand's better, eh? And then
There
get a
you
more meaningful
go.
fight, eh?
There you
Get a more
go.
meaningful fight.
There you go, mate. It's not.
And
Listen,
If Joe Joyce is going to continue, why don't you fight him? I mean, I heard this talk about Hughie said something about they're in talks for Dillian White, and then Dillian White's folk are saying, I've never heard nobody's mentioned anything about that. And then I've seen Bricktop going, Dillian White signed with us, and he was basically totally dismissing it. Eh?
well,
Somebody asked him about,
Bricktop can't stand Peter Fury, right? That's the
yeah,
bottom line. They can't stand each other. And so Bricktop's the top dog now, so there's no room at the inn for Huey. So they're
and
gonna have to
Bricktop's got
put.
all the heavyweights, isn't he? He's got just about all the heavyweights. So who's he going to fight? He's going to have to go to America or somewhere. I mean, Peter can't go to America, so where's he going to go?
Well, his dad can't go to America, right? So Huey's not going to fight in America. So they've got to force the issue by the rankings. But when you've got something like Bricktop, the WBO, that's boxed off. That's a Bricktop belt. Looks like the IBF is as well. The only way that you can force it now is the WBC. But you've got to have eliminators and final eliminators to get it mixed for a title shot. So they're going to have to sit it out even more years and wait for the landscape to change. Or they're going to have to do what Bricktop and Andy Ailing were saying a bit back. You always got to go and get a big scalp like a Bacoli or a
Yeah.
Fabio Wardley or a Moses Atome or a Joseph Parker rematch. Huey has got to turn up and get a big scalp and take the
If
shit
he's
end of the money to get in the mix. Otherwise, they're just going to be classed as also rans. They're just going to be hanging around like a bad smell.
if he's frozen out, Peter needs to send him to America with somebody else to train him, somebody else to work his corner, and fight Andy Ruiz or somebody like that.
I've
Somebody
just
over in
said that.
America's.
I've just said that to Ryan from
Have you?
Manchester.
Huh?
I've just said it to Ryan. I've just had Ryan on now from Manchester,
Uh-huh.
and I've said, look, and it's hard for me to say this because I've known Peter years, but I've been away with Peter. I've been to his 50th birthday party. Blah blah blah. Look, I introduced him to Gary from Welcome Estates. Look, I've been right with him, but my job is obviously I'm spinning other plates, but my passion and this is YouTube boxing.
Yeah.
I've got to tell it straight.
Yeah.
He's got an Ant Reigns in. He's took Huey as far as he can in 12 year. After 12 year, he's fighting journeymen who are 10-year older than him. So you've got to sit back, you've got to step out the picture, and you've got to say something's going wrong here. It's a bit like me when I criticise the government. When I were in prison 30 years ago, there were 40,000 in prison. There's now 102,000. So something's not working, in it?
Yeah.
So the government needs to have a look at the prison system. It's faltering, like the NHS and everything else. Huey is faltering. He's way off track. He's never going to be a world champion ever, but he's got the ability to be a world champion. That day we took off him in that Joseph Parker fight. This is constructive criticism.
Mhm.
And it's very hard to give constructive criticism to people who are your pals, who you've been away with and been out with and been out for meals with and, been to the birthday parties. It's very hard. Like with Frotch, innit? I give it to him over that turkey thing. He had turkey, I'll shake, His Excellency, on a plate, Frotch, didn't he? But he never mentioned the Saudi national anthem at Wembley, did he?
A missed opportunity there.
No, it's not a missed opportunity. It's he filled his nappy. That's
Yeah.
it. He would have gone there with all good intentions, and it got took away from him. And that's like this with Hughie. They missed the boat. Bad, a few moves here, there, and everywhere. You think you know what you're doing, but you don't. Hughie's mistake, in my opinion, and I told Dennis, I said, "Oh, I shouldn't take that fight." But I rung Dennis as Hughie's just been cutting sparring, but Martin McCauley cutting with an elbow. Kerry Cage went, "Oh, that's bad. That." What did they do? They patched him up and put him in. We all went
Mm.
out to Bulgaria. What happened? He got cut
Cut
after
off the
4 minutes,
belly.
didn't he? Game over. He's never been in mix since then. Bad decisions, inexperience. So then, if it were anybody else, we'd dissect this down, wouldn't we? And say
Yeah.
that trainer there shouldn't be training him, or they made bad decisions. So we have to do it amongst people who we know and get on with. And we have to look at their credentials. Peter Fury was not a boxing trainer. He took Tyson on when Tyson Fury was 17 and 0. He was already the finished article, technically, wasn't he, really? 17 and 0. So he had 8 fights with Tyson, and he's had Hughie and Savannah, who's a two-time Olympian and a world championship gold. So he's had it on a plate, really. Hughie, world championship gold. Peter did fantastic with Tyson for them 8 fights. You'd say he's performed below level with Hughie. And Savannah, you say he's done well with Savannah, but Savannah really, there's nobody for her to fight, is there really? A 6 footer like Savannah beating up school dinner ladies. That's what it basically is, isn't it, really? So where's his other stars? We have to look at it because if it were Ben Davidson or Dave Caldwell, we'd be all over this like a rash, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Andy,
right.
we would, won't we? But
Yep.
people are not gonna do because he's a big gangster, he's done a 10 stretch. Well, so what? My mate with his co-accused, he got 10 as well. That
But
were, Pete,
if he,
that were
he
Peter's first offence. Let's have it right. So
if
we're
he,
not
if
character assassinating Peter here. We're
no,
just telling it straight. We're going on about his boxing credentials. Tyson Fury left him, didn't he? After
yeah,
8 fights. Hughie's had him from debut, and he's gone backwards. Hughie's going backwards, fighting guys ranked 525, and he's ranked 28. That's not progress. That's backwards.
yeah,
If I'm a professional pool player and I'm ranked 28 in world, I'm not going to be playing against guys ranked 525. I'm going to be chasing big dogs down, aren't I?
yeah.
That's
You want
what
to
I
better
want.
yourself, eh?
Pardon?
You want to better yourself.
Well, there you go. So why are they fighting guys ranked 525? Are they froze out? Yes, they're froze out. So if you froze out, you need backing. You've got to put money up to get back in mix, to get opponents in. Where's money? Well, they were supposed to have money, aren't they?
Mm.
What's going on? I want to know what's going on with Hughie. That's what I want to know. Because he's going backwards and nobody's speaking. Is anybody standing up for Hughie? Because he's got more skills than Tyson. Tyson's words, not mine. Tyson Fury's. Hughie's more skilled than Tyson. But he's not got the devil in him. Hughie's got a better chin than Tyson. He's never been down.
Yeah.
Tyson's been down, is it 8 times?
So I mean, if you're frozen out, what you've got to look for other avenues. That's what I'm saying. Go
You
to
got to look
America.
for other avenues. You got to force it. They need a
Yeah,
scalp. They need a Fabio Wardley, a Bacoli. They've got to take somebody out who's a scalp. They've got to roll the dice.
Yeah.
They're not rolling. Is Dan Garber rolling dice?
No.
There you go.
That's
Well,
no.
what did his dad say? Oh, he's our friend of ours and he needed a payday. And Hughie
Yeah.
had one hand that were working because the other one were broke, so we jumped in. What does that say about what they think about boxing fans?
Yes.
Have they lost their
Boxing fan.
minds or something? Do they know what they're doing?
Yeah. I mean,
Is
boxing
anybody
fans are.
going to ask these fucking questions? Because I'm asking them now. Does anybody around Hughie know what they're doing?
It's beginning to look like not.
There you
If that
go.
proofs
Nobody
in the
knows
pudding,
what
isn't it?
they're doing. That's how it looks. But nobody's going to put it on them. Are boxing now that Aki and that Chris going to put it on them?
Probably not. No.
They've got access
That's like
every day. They're not going to put it on them, are they? Because
it's like boxing
they're
kind.
getting 100 quid a video, aren't they? 120 quid a video. They're not bothered. They're good here 3, 4 times a month, pick up 500 quid in view money. They're not bothered, are they? And a bit of sponsorship. They're all right, aren't they? I'm all right, Jack. Nobody's going to put it on them, but who is?
That's like asking IFL to put it on Eddie Hills or
They're not going to do it,
Brickoff,
are
isn't it?
they?
Not going to happen
So
there.
where are they going with Huey? That's what I want to know. It's a nice kid, Huey. They're going backwards. So, when you're going, listen, if you're a racing driver and you're into all that, aren't you? If you're a rally car driver and your car keeps breaking down, right? What do you do? Do you have a look at the works drive that you got? Say you're driving a Lancia Delta S4 and it keeps breaking down. You're going to want to go get a 6R4 Metro, aren't you? Or you're going to look for another new mechanics, aren't you?
Yeah, you're
There
going to
you go.
shift things up, aren't you? You're going
Because
to
you're
mix things up.
on-lit driver, aren't you? Huey's on-lit boxer, but he needs a team around him, doesn't he? So his team around him, whether it's political or whether they're inexperienced trainers or whatever, they're not doing the job, are they?
It's maybe the whole thing's just gone stale, and he needs something to freshen himself up.
Well, what has Huey done it since he fought Parker in 2018? I were there. What has he done? That's 7 years, a long time in boxing, 7 fucking months. So in
And
7 year, where's Huey headed? He's been going backwards and he's been regressing. But we're not
I think
allowed to say fuck all, are we? Oh, we
he's
can't say
had
no, you might get told off.
he's had
No.
some uh, he's had some health issues, but if he's past that now, and I saw
Well,
a
has he
video
had
that
health issues or is that bollocks?
well, we're
Well,
told
that's
he's had
what
health
people are
issues.
saying. They're now saying he's got a broken hand. I mean, these people, fucking hell, they tell. I don't believe a word I'm told, to be honest, from any of that lot now. We're told, oh, he's got blood issues and broken hands. It's just fucking one excuse to another, isn't it?
What did
Get
what
up
did they
as a
say?
bad job, I say.
What did they say with Dubois when he got? Remember when he got the bad eye with Joyce? He said, "Show us the X-rays." So maybe people should be asking for the X-rays of his hand.
Look, yeah, we need to see. Look, we were asking for Billy Joe Saunders X-rays. We were asking for Kell Brooks. We asked for Sonny Edwards. Let's see Huey's X-rays.
Yeah,
Well, let's tell it straight on here now, right? Let's tell it straight. Well, Joe Joyce
because
dropped Huey. Joe Joyce dropped Huey in sparring. Daniel Dubois dropped him in sparring. But it's all going to come out, aren't it? It's all going to come out in wash. Everybody knows.
so if
Martin
I
Foley roughed him up and cut him. Look, you've either got it or you haven't. Huey's a very skilled kid, but has he got it? Or is there something missing? Can he pull the trigger? Did he have a broken hand? It all needs to come out, doesn't it? Do they know
per,
what
per,
they're fucking doing, in other words?
personally, if I was Peter and I said he had a broken hand, I'd be publishing an X-ray to back it up
There you
because there's
go.
always doubt of it.
There you
There's
go. We're
always
not
doubt.
seeing any broken hands, are we? I don't believe that story, me. I believe he's unfit because I seen the footage. I believe he's unfit, and they thought, we'll pinch a few quid here, Dan Gerber, and we'll get another win on board, and we'll hang around waiting to see if landscape changes. That's where they're at.
And
With
the
somebody
people that
30 at his peak.
the people that's paid to go and see that fight knew nothing about broken hands and that before it. So would
Now,
you go?
there you
Would you pay
go.
money? Would you pay money to watch somebody? Oh, he's got a broken hand. I won't watch him, but
No,
I
I
wouldn't
won't, mate. I
personally.
won't.
That's just
So why come out and say it? Because they ran out of excuses and they put on the spot when the camera's rolling. That's how I look at it. People can say, oh, you know, but a mouthy little so and so. Look, I've got to tell it straight on here. Now, I can't protect anybody anymore. So, do you want to go to
got to be
part
a
two, kid?
it's got to be a level playing field. This so
Yeah. I'll see you on part two, kid, yeah?
good man. See you over
Cheers,
there.
mate. Thanks for
Cheers.
liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. We're joined by Andy, who is not from Aberdeen. Uh, Anybody offended by this video so far, you need to go out, take a bird out for a drink, or go eat a kebab or something, or you know what I mean. Go over up your bed sit. All right, peace out. I'll see you on part two. Pop, pop, bang.